Hey everyone, off the Mike Sports Network here. More NBA coverage. Man, I've been doing a lot of NBA stuff in the last week or so because of all the Luka Doncic stuff. But lost in this, I did a video about the Milwaukee Bucks because of how far they've fallen off after they traded Chris Middleton. But we need to talk about the Phoenix Suns. What in the fuck is going on with this organization? Some people will say, bad ownership. And yes, that is to some degree really, and most of what the problem is here. Matt Ishbia has started to run this team like it's 10 years ago and you could build a super team. Robert Sarver, who sold the team and had to get rid of it. There was a lot of personal, issues that were going on within this organization, like workplace environment that caused the sale of the team. But he was a cheapskate. And this organization has always kind of been a joke outside of the finals year that they had with Devin Booker at the helm with Chris Paul. And then obviously, I think it was the 93 season with Charles Barkley where they lost to the Bulls. This organization has kind of been a joke. I mean, you could go back to the 60s. I think it was Gar Hurd. And I don't have I'm not up to date on my Phoenix Suns history. So forgive me if I offended you Phoenix Suns fans that are watching this. But we need to talk about something that what has transpired. The Phoenix Suns in the last 7 or 8 years have performed an exercise in how to not build a franchise correctly. They had Devin Booker in their organization, and they got him at the back half of the lottery. Then in 2018, they had the number 1 pick in the NBA draft, a draft with Luka Doncic in it. You want to know what the Suns did? They took DeAndre Ayton, and DeAndre Ayton hasn't even been close to Luka Doncic. So that's the first mistake. Then DeAndre Ayton gets traded for Yusuf Nurkic, Nasir Little, Keon Johnson, and Grayson Allen. They then waived Keon Johnson. They waived Nasir Little. And then before the trade deadline, they salary dumped Yusuf Nurkic. So basically what they did over the course of this whole thing, and this is thanks to Mark Deeks, at Mark Deeks NBA on X, if you want to go follow him. This was a great tweet that I wanted to use as a jumping off point for this video. The Suns of, and I'm reading verbatim what Mark Deeks said in this tweet. Suns effectively turned a number 1 pick into Grayson Allen. That's it. That's it. And now look at this Phoenix Suns team. They have 3 superstars. Bradley Beal, who is not what he used to be, and he's got a no-trade clause, and you've alienated him. You've got Devin Booker, a superstar, who was in the NBA Finals a few years ago. And you've got Kevin Durant, who you were shopping around too, and he's pissed off too. This Suns organization is going nowhere. They are in the 10 spot now at the back half of the play-in tournament. They've got a disgruntled locker room. They just salary dumped Yusuf Nurkic, their center. And again, look no more at what they said. And hindsight's always 2020. In 2018, DeAndre Ayton was widely considered to be one of the top prospects in the draft, but a lot of people were really high on Luka Doncic in that draft. And he ultimately ended up going, I think, 3rd in the draft. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but the point is that tweet just illustrates how badly mismanaged this Phoenix Suns team has been. They didn't need to trade for Kevin Durant. They got him. They didn't need to trade. Well, I mean, Kevin Durant is a different thing. They didn't need to trade for Bradley Beal with a no trade clause because now they're in this predicament that they are. Matt Ishbia, who's really the main culprit of this whole thing of why the Suns are in the predicament they are now, is he decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to run my team like it's 15 years ago. And, hey, I'm going to run my roster like it's a fantasy football or fantasy basketball roster without factoring in the salary cap ramifications. And now they can't move anybody. And they had to make this move to get rid of Yusuf Nurkic. This team is going to be lucky to make the playoffs this year. They'll probably be in the play-in tournament. Maybe they could work their way in to the 7 or 8 spot. But this is not a good team. They've been really struggling. They lost to Portland very recently. And now you've got a disgruntled star in Bradley Beal, who they tried to get out of there, and he wouldn't waive his no-trade clause. You've got a disgruntled Kevin Durant, who we already know has thin skin. And who's to say Devin Booker isn't pissed off? This franchise was in the 2021 NBA Finals. They've completely overhauled their entire roster, and it has led to nothing. This is a joke of a franchise. And it was previous ownership. Now it's current ownership. This is a joke of a story. And it's going to go underreported because of a lot of the other big moves that happened over the course of the last 5-6 days. The Suns, and some of this is also on Kevin Durant because he's just picked badly in the last couple of years. But the Suns are going to go down as one of the massive failures because they had an opportunity to be something really special at the top of the Western Conference. They went all in on the wrong pieces. It hasn't worked. Bunch of injury-prone guys. And then, like I said, you took the chain of events that I just illustrated. And again, thanks to Mark Deeks for this tweet. Effectively, what this came down to is you drafted number 1 overall took DeAndre Ayton. And all that left you with now is Grayson Allen. Yes, Grayson Allen. That's it. That's all you have for that. Good job. Bad teams with bad ownership do bad things. I know you're talking to a guy who roots for a football team with terrible ownership. So Phoenix Suns fans, to some degree, I feel bad for you. But you know what? This is what happens when you have an owner trying to play general manager. It never works when you have an owner who's meddling in, personnel decisions, whether that be football, any other sport, basketball in this case. So anyway, that's it for now. I'll talk to you guys real soon. Bye-bye.